New tonight.
They think to help her is to make her part of a family. And not only is that not going to help her, somebody's going to end up seriously hurt.
Parents sounding the alarm. Their mentally ill daughter a threat to herself and society. And they say their warnings are being ignored. CALL7 investigator Theresa Marchetta here with rare and candid insight from the daughter herself.
She has thoughts of violence, even murder, anytime she gets angry. This family is taking the courageous step of sharing their story, hoping to prevent another national tragedy.
The first thing that comes to my head is someone says, someone pisses me off, I'm like, kill that bitch now. Like, I tell myself, like, do it. Like, I think thoughts like that.
This is not the face of a monster.
I love to cook, honestly.
In fact, to look at this girl we're calling Megan, you'd never know the inconceivable things she survived or the violence she's capable of.
Or I, like, visualize myself doing it to them. I'm, like, torture them in my brain or something.
What do you do to stop that, though? Isn't that hard?
That I don't know. I don't think it'll ever go away.
We were allowed to capture a rare family gathering away from Megan's residential treatment center. She and her family are brutally honest about the many dark moments of their lives.
She tried her first poisoning at 8.
Charlie and Irene Rockwell have spent nearly 2 decades in emotional purgatory.
We know, and we try to tell them what her pattern is.
Torn between their devotion to a daughter living with mental illness and their obligation to keep the rest of their family and society safe.
And what she's capable of doing, because she's done in the past, and we get blown off.
Megan was born to an abusive, drug-addicted mother.
She was put in a washing machine at 6 months old.
Her medical history reads like a horror novel. Her biological mom tried to drown her twice, even tried to ram a stick into her head through her ear, all before the age of 4, when Megan's dad and Irene got custody.
I mean, she's gone through sexual, emotional, physical abuse, neglect in every which way.
In addition to post-traumatic stress disorder, Megan has been diagnosed with several mood and attachment disorders, and her health records document repeated suicidal and homicidal thoughts.
She threatened to slit her therapist's throat.
That was just over a month ago.
She can look at me and she can say, "Mom, you're not safe, I'm going to kill you." And she has said that to me before. That's another reason she doesn't live with us.
The Rockwells say they're at the mercy of a mental health system that wants to cure their daughter, qualifying her for residential care in 30-day snapshots. It's dangerous, they say, because it fails to take into account her full history of high-risk behavior.
The last time she tried to poison somebody was in a residential facility. She tried to poison the entire cottage by pouring the water out of the ice cubes, filling them half with bleach and half with water.
But that was 4 years ago. If Megan goes weeks without a serious incident, Irene says the system thinks she's better and moves her to a less secure living facility.
Every single therapist that has been involved with her deals with her for 1 year to 2, and then turns around and says to me and my husband, "We're sorry. You were right all along."
The Rockwells say they've accepted Megan isn't ever going to get better. But at age 19, her revolving door of providers and caregivers continues to push her back into society.
I can't be on the streets by myself. I can't step foot out the year by myself. Like, I'll freak out. I always have to have someone with me at all times.
They feel that since she's an adult now, that they should be able to open the doors and hand her keys to her own apartment, literally. And that puts her, as well as the community, at a huge risk.
When they get to a certain point, 18, 21, then the system changes.
Tom Dillingham helps families navigate the system. He says even though someone like Megan has a lengthy juvenile history, at 19, the way it's set up now, she's back at square one.
You have to start again and go through the whole perspective, redefine yourself, and get into the system. And it's difficult, just absolutely difficult.
Difficult because mental health care is driven by funding from a variety of sources.
And when you're accessing the system and you don't really know where the money comes from, you don't know how to get in the front door.
In the Rockwells' case, it's Medicaid. But the providers who get that money don't always agree on what level of treatment Megan needs.
I kept saying, "Who do I contact? Who do I contact? Who do I contact?" They would not answer me.
Our investigation uncovered report after report documenting Colorado's broken, confusing, and underfunded system, and no one's willing to defend it. This 2008 report points out Colorado's service areas and boundaries are confusing. So are the multiple funding sources indicated by the different colors on these maps.
They're getting lost in the shuffle.
At least once a year, we get to the point that we're terrified that they're going to knock on our door and say, here's your ill daughter, you deal with her.
This fear, she says, is at the heart of why they can't celebrate Megan's successes. They have to keep proving she's ill enough for treatment.
Why can't I just be normal like they are? Why can't I just have a brain function like the other kids do? It's just rough sometimes being me.
For the parents to constantly have to say, my kid can't love me. My kid can't be part of my family. You have to help her. It kills us.
After a recent appeal, a medical director denied authorization for Megan's residential treatment, stating her psychiatric symptoms are not severe and acute enough. The Rockwells know they're running out of options.
Moments of where she hates herself and loathes the way she is so bad that she says that she's going to kill herself.
Who else would she take with her if she had those thoughts?
In its own studies, even this one from 2011, the state admits the system is failing 14 to 26-year-olds. I talked with Dr. Lisa Clements, director of the Department of Behavioral Health. She says the governor's recently announced $18.5 million plan will help. But she admits right now, if Megan or anyone like her has a violent episode, the only option is actually a mental health hold in an emergency room. There's nowhere for them to go.
This is so troubling. All right, Theresa, thank you.